When you look back on the relatively short history of the Liberty Swimming and Diving program, the amount of success they've achieved since its inception in 2010 is pretty remarkable. And much of that success is due to the only head coach they've ever known, Jake Schellenberger.
I was hired in the summer of 2009, and so the first varsity team was the 10-11 year. I was here in 9-10, and we used that as a recruiting year. And so we would bring recruits on campus, and we would sell them the vision of the program. You know, here's what we want to do. It was challenging because we're a new program. We're trying to recruit high-level student athletes, and we have no history, you know, a facility that has challenges. And so it wasn't easy to recruit, but we could pretty much say, here's what elite level swimming and diving programs do, and this is why we're doing what we do. Yeah, we had a lot of early success, and we've continued it. Even just our first year, we had 12 teams in our conference, and we finished 6th out of 12 teams, you know, just our first year.
Yeah, I think it's exciting to have been able to just start from ground zero and watch a program just sort of blossom. It's been a blessing.
Our first year in program history, we had a top 100 recruit from Penn State. She ended up scoring her sophomore year, helped lead us to a conference title in her 4th year. Yeah, we started out fast and you know, got faster from there. We built the LaHaye pool back in 2003. When we didn't know that we would someday have an elite level Division I swimming and diving program. So we built it as a rec pool and a fine rec facility it is. And, you know, if you want to go in there and do water aerobics, it's great. If you want to go in there and swim laps, it's fantastic. When you're looking at training elite level swimmers specifically, you're looking at lane space. And the more people you have in a lane, you've got people on butterfly, you're bumping into each other. You know, freestyle, you're locking arms. If you got paddles on, we've had people get cut with paddles because they're running into people.
The lack of lane space wasn't the only issue facing this young program. Another major challenge was the fact that they didn't have a diving facility at all. This would put the Lady Flames at a major disadvantage.
If you don't have diving and the other team has diving, there are 2 diving events, the 1 and 3 meter springboard. And if you don't have those events, the other team doesn't just not score them. They don't just not dive and say, oh, it's okay, you know, because you don't have diving. They take those points, and you just don't dive, and they dive. Their divers dive against no one. And they score 16 points per event. So if you don't have diving, and the other team has diving, you start a dual meet down 32-0. And then to win that meet, you have to dig out of that hole.
Despite that deficit, the program would continue to move forward. Winning became not just an expectation, but a reality. And then in 2017 came the final piece to the puzzle, a brand new state-of-the-art natatorium with all the necessary features to take the Liberty swimmers and divers to the next level.
A new facility in any sport, especially for swimming and diving, it's a big deal.
It's top-notch. It has everything that we need to be successful. And I would compare it to any other top 10 program in the country. We have a better facility to walk in than most programs that are at the highest level right now. It's very impressive that they've done it without diving because they've been able to win a conference championship without diving. I'm excited to add diving so that hopefully we can bring home more championships. Adding divers that had no experience to the team could be a struggle at many programs, and the women on the swim team were so welcoming. They took us in from day one and never looked back, and it's truly one family.
Liberty's purpose transcends sport. It transcends academics. And so much of the good stuff of life and the important stuff of life is not about sport, and it's not about school. It's about what happens in your home with your family. It's about the interactions you have with people throughout your day. You know, it's about all these different things that make up the stuff of life.
It is swimming at the end of the day, but there's so much more to them than just being a swimmer. You know, their identity isn't a swimmer, and that's something that's really special, and we can speak to that. And I think that encourages the women a lot, being able to let them know that you're not defined by a time you put up at the end of the day or by what my watch says at the end of practice. You're defined by who you are in Christ.
Liberty University is about building champions for Christ, but they're also about building champions in the pool. And if the early trajectory for this program is any indication, they're well on their way to accomplishing both.